Hi guys, this is a DIY tutorial of how to make a snuffle mat. For materials, you'll need scissors, a marker, and a blanket or fabric, and also a measuring tape. So for mine, I use a blanket because those are some that he had torn up before, so I just wanted to resalvage them and use them for a different purpose. So first, you want to measure out how big you want your pet's snuffle mat to be. I made Rue's 13 by 20 inches, and that makes for a medium-sized snuffle mat. So you just want to mark it on each side after you're done measuring, and then cut it out. Now that we have the base of our snuffle mat done, we're going to flip it over onto the side that we want to be the bottom of the mat, and we're going to then measure out our spacing for our slits. So I'm measuring out mine to about 1.5 inches, and I'm marking it all the way down lengthwise. Now you're going to switch and do the same thing widthwise, and I'm marking mine again with 1.5 inches of spacing. Now that the measurements are done, you're going to fill in the remainder of the markings by following the initial measurements made. And make sure you're giving enough space because we're going to be cutting these, and we want to make sure we have enough space to make a good slit. This is what the markings on the snuffle mat should look like once complete. So now we're going to go into cutting each marking. I do that by folding it in half at the dot, cutting it a little bit, and then putting the scissors in that cut and opening the hole just a little bit bigger so that it's about 1/2 inch to 1 inch big. And we're going to follow that pattern for the remainder of the markings on the snuffle mat. And we want to make sure we're cutting our slits in the same direction. So we don't want to alternate and do one horizontal slit and then one perpendicular slit. We want to make sure if we're going to do horizontal that they all need to be horizontal and facing the same direction. Since we're going to have rows of these cuts, be sure to keep good spacing in between each slit so that they're not connecting. Now that we've turned all of our markings into 1 inch openings, this is what the end result should be for the base of our mat. So we're going to fold that and put it to the side because we're moving on into the next part of building our snuffle mat. So we're going to grab some leftover fabric and cut out a medium-sized piece of fabric with even edges. This is what we're going to use to cut out the strips for our snuffle mat. Since I'm making Rue's snuffle mat out of a blanket, and the material's a bit thicker, I'm making the strips for his snuffle mat a bit longer. I'm making his 8 inches long and 1 inch thick. This is because I want to make sure I'm able to double tie the strip when I put it on the base of the snuffle mat. Now if you're using a thinner material, I'd suggest doing about 6 inches because you don't want your strips to be too long. So after you're done marking it, you're going to go ahead and cut out that strip. So now we're going to take that strip and thread it through 2 slits on the base of our snuffle mat, and then make sure it's even on the other side. Now you're going to repeat this process and create a bulk amount of strips to put on the base of your snuffle mat. I found that it makes it a bit easier and faster if you measure out 8 inches on an even-sided fabric piece and then cut that out, and then cut out each strip with 1 inch in width by using your judgment. Once you have enough fabric strips cut out, go ahead and start threading them through onto the base of your snuffle mat like we did that first one, and do this row by row. Now that we've completed threading the strips onto the entire first row, we're going to tie these individual strips together and make sure they're double knotted. I'm now flipping and doing the first row on the other side of the mat as well for clarity. Moving on to the second row, we're weaving our strips through the same slit as the first row and then one of the new slits of the second row. And you're going to repeat the process from the second row on all of the remaining rows. If I could have done this mat over, I would have started on one edge and went all the way to the other edge rather than doing both edges first and then coming towards the middle, because once you get towards the middle, it's a little bit harder to tie them when it's surrounded by other knots. And this second part that I'm doing right now is completely optional. I just wanted my ends to look a little bit better, so right now I'm weaving the strips onto the ends of the mat and I'm going to tie them. All right, and that completes our DIY snuffle mat. It came out so cute, guys. Like, I'm actually in love with this mat. I would probably create one in a larger size for myself as like a little rug because it's so cute. But yeah, I washed his because I didn't want him eating those little particles, and that's something I love about it because you can wash it after using it and it keeps them busy. Follow my little puppy at a Russell named Rue because he's so cute. But yeah, it extends that eating period just a little bit longer so you have more time to your day and keeping them busy. Thanks for watching. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.